If you click this video to find out what it was like for me getting these braces on my teeth and having them on for the past 5 days, then stay tuned. Hi everyone, my name is Jolene and you just decided to join my journey, and today we are going to talk about getting braces. Now, I literally just turned 33. I look kind of young, but I am 33. I turned 33 on August 24th, and then exactly a week after my birthday, I got braces put into my mouth. This decision didn't come lightly, but the reason why I ended up getting the braces is because I have a missing tooth. And the only way that I can get a implant is to close the space. Now, how did I end up losing this tooth? That's for a whole nother video. But today, I want to talk about what the experience was like getting these braces on and what it's been like for the first 5 days of having braces in my mouth. Okay, so let's talk about going to the dentist, getting the braces. So the entire day before, I was a little bit nervous, unsure, but trying not to think too much about it. I watched a lot of YouTube videos of other experiences, and honestly, I'm gonna make sure that I cover things that I didn't hear in the other videos. So, using the information that I got off of these videos, I made certain decisions and certain plans in my mind going into this. So that morning when I woke up, my appointment was at 11 o'clock. So I had an early lunch because I had a coupon for a Chick-fil-A sandwich, and I was like, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to eat this when I get these braces on. So I decided, and plus I didn't know, they said that your mouth would be tender and stuff, so I said to myself, I might as well go and get, eat something fulfilling prior to going to get these braces, just in case I don't want to eat anything afterwards. And plus I didn't want to waste that coupon just in case I figured out I would not be able to have eat that sandwich, and everybody loves Chick-fil-A. So I basically went to Chick-fil-A, the closest one to the dental office, and I ate the food, and I had a toothbrush in my purse. I got the toothbrush from getting my teeth cleaned a few weeks before, never used it because I already had toothbrush and stuff at home. So I used what the dentist had given me, and I had a bottle of water, and I just basically brushed my teeth outside by my car after I ate the food. And also I did chew on a lot of ice because you can't chew on ice when you have braces on. Okay, so I went into the dental office. They took me to the back, and this lady was assisting me, and I think she's an assistant. I don't know who she is, but she had on scrubs, and she took me. The first thing that they did was they took a panoramic scan of my mouth, and it was supposed to be done before for my initial visit, just the consultation, but the machine wasn't working at that time, so she ended up having to do that one, and then she did another scan of my mouth. I don't know what that scan was, but I do know she did the panoramic scan. After she did the scan, we went to the back, and she took pictures of my mouth, just a regular smile, then with my mouth closed, and then she did a side profile, but she only did one side. She did both sides, I think. After she took the profile photos, she put me in the chair, and then she took impressions of my mouth, of my teeth. She did the top impressions, and then she did the bottom impressions. And when she was done with the impressions, she started to do this cleaning process. She cleaned the teeth, and after she cleaned the teeth, she started putting whatever she was gonna put on them. And when she put whatever she was gonna put on them, and she started shining the light and everything, it was really quick. She was working. She did not have time, and I didn't really know who she was, but I was used to, every time I go to the dentist, there's always someone that comes to me first, and then either the dentist or the orthodontist will talk to me. So I figured she was one of those people. But then all of a sudden, she just started slapping on braces on the bottom of my mouth, and I was like, oh, okay, so I guess she's putting on my braces and not the orthodontist, because this is not the person that I consulted with. And so she put the braces all on the bottom, and then she stopped for a few minutes and she walked away, so I took some pictures of what my mouth looked like, and then she was like, nothing was happening. Okay, so we were waiting, and then all of a sudden the orthodontist came in. Now, I had heard the orthodontist earlier when she had first started to like get things ready, and I heard him ask like, what's happening, and then she explained what I was getting, and of course he couldn't see me because the chair is facing the opposite direction. So he was basically like walking to every room, asking everyone like, what's going on, what are you doing, and stuff. So then the second time he actually came into the room and was looking to see what she had did with my bottom teeth. And so he kind of gave her a few directions, and then he explained to me that she wasn't going to be putting on my top braces, that he was going to be putting on my top braces, but he had to take care of something else, another patient, before he could do that. So I was sitting in the chair waiting for a bit, and then he finally did come in, and the reason why she had to wait for him was because it was the drying process is so fast. It was double-handed work, and he basically put the top braces all on my mouth. And once that was done, he, said a few things to me, then he left, and she finished the process. He told her where to put the wire, and so she put the wire, and then she asked me about the rubber bands. Now, this is why I was watching YouTube. The whole point of me doing the clear tops, which is one of the reasons why he had to do the top and not the bottom, is because I didn't want it to be as apparent that I had braces in my mouth. But when I was watching YouTube videos, I saw a video, and the person said not to get clear bands because they will turn yellow, and not to get white bands because they will turn yellow. You need to get silver bands because they'll kind of blend in with the wire, so it's not going to be that noticeable anyway. So when the lady asked me what color bands did I want, and she was showing me two different types of white ones. It was a white one and then like a pearl one. And I said I wanted silver, and she like gave me this like crazy look, like, come on, bedside manner, people. Anyway, so she gave me this crazy look, and it kind of freaked me out about, what I had just said. And so I explained to her, I said, well, I don't want to put the white one on because I heard that it will make your teeth, they will turn yellow super fast. And so she's like, oh, well, I have this pearl one, and it won't turn yellow as fast, so you should be fine with this pearl one. So what she's decided to do was, she said she'd put the silver and she'd put the pearl, and then I'd make my decision like that. So she put the silver and she put the pearl, and of course the silver one stood out more than the pearl one. And so because of her reaction and everything, I was like, okay, well, I'll just go with the pearl because you said it's not going to turn yellow. We'll get into that a little bit later. So anyway, she puts the rubber bands on, and she brings me my little teeth kit, explains to me about all the different cleaning things, which I already watched on YouTube. And she let me go, and I was free to go, and I wasn't in any pain. Oh, before I left, she had to cut the sides of the wire, so she cut this side, and that was like, it's like a pop. And then she cut the end of this side, and she asked me, is it comfortable or do you feel the wire? And honestly, I felt the wire a little bit on this side, but it was very, very little. And of course, I'm just this whole mouth full of sensation. I didn't really feel on this side, but this side I felt it very little. But I told her like, no, not really, I don't feel anything, because I really didn't know what to think. I mean, my whole mouth was protruding out. So I left, and I'm gonna tell you how I initially felt. It was so weird because, like, I want to close my mouth like normal, like I normally do, but I couldn't because of the braces. So if I want to close my mouth like normal, this is what it looks like. This is me just naturally closing my mouth. I can't close my mouth because of this thing, so I have to kind of like pull over my mouth and close. It's a lot more difficult to keep it completely closed, so I don't know, I'm probably gonna develop a bad habit of leaving my mouth open. So I came back to my studio and, just staring at my teeth. I got in the car, like, there was no pain, there was no nothing. It was just like normal, and I was like, oh, okay. I still had some lemonade from Chick-fil-A, so I was like drinking that through a straw, and I was fine. I was like, oh, this is gonna be cool. And I went to the studio. So when I got to the studio, you know, I'm trying not to pay too much attention, but obviously I can feel them. I looked in the mirror a couple times, and like a couple of hours passed by, and I was feeling fine. And I was like, wow, I must be the exception to the rule, because these don't feel bad and they don't feel sensitive, and I'm pretty much okay. So literally I spent the whole day at the studio, and then I left the studio and went home. And when I got home, I was like, now at this point I was like starving hungry, but I didn't really want to eat, because then I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to clean the braces, and I was still intimidated about this whole flossing and the brush, and then the little brush, and then it's just a lot of work. So I was like, okay, I want to eat something that's not going to cause me to do that, but I didn't have anything. And when I watched videos online, they were like, the only thing you're gonna want to eat is soup. So I had like a cup of ramen. So I made the cup of ramen, and literally the very first bite, I put the ramen in the back of my mouth so that I can chomp down on the first bite. And this tooth kind of touched the bottom of my teeth, and I was in pain. It was so sensitive. I mean, beyond sensitive. I was like, my eyes were protruding. So I literally, oh my gosh, the pain was enormous. And I had this noodles, and at that point, like, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't, what I'm gonna do? I'm starving, but this is painful. So I decided not to chew anymore, and I literally just used my tongue to get that noodles down my throat. And I was like chewing it with my tongue, swallowing it. After that, I didn't even buy any Tylenol. I didn't have any Advil on hand, and it wasn't like the pain came and kind of like dissipated a little bit, so I didn't take any medicine. And I went to bed, and that night was an uncomfortable night. It wasn't extremely uncomfortable, but it was an uncomfortable night. My teeth were just like, I guess now they were starting to realize that something was intruding on them, and so that's when it started. Okay, I don't want to freak you guys out, but that's when it started. So I woke up the next day feeling like horrible. I had this horrible night's sleep, and my teeth just all felt super sensitive, like you can't touch it. You know, like your nerve endings, it's like you touch your tooth, you're touching the nerve. It was like really like, so I didn't eat anything that morning. I was just like trying to get through. I brushed them, and I was brushing really sensitive. And the funny thing is, like, when I was brushing them, it didn't like bother me as much. But the more and more the day started to progress, the more and more like sensitive and basically painful. It was painful for me, and I was thinking in my head, oh my gosh. I mean, the first day I was like, man, I should have made them pull this wire a little tighter so that I can speed up the process. But this is a good orthodontist, and I'm sure he would have never went for that. But I was like, are they moving? Is that why my teeth are hurting so bad? So they were hurting super bad. And the funny thing is, I had to go to the studio and teach for one of my dance teachers because she was gonna be out that day. And so I wasn't supposed to teach any classes. And then also I was supposed to have a class that Monday when I did go get the braces, but I ended up not teaching that class because of a rainstorm. So I had to teach 2 classes, and those are classes like you have to teach, like you have to talk the whole entire time with the mask on. So nobody knew I had braces in my mouth. And eventually it started to feel a little painful, and then I started to feel back here that it was irritating my gum, the inside of my mouth right here. And so by the time I was done teaching the 2 class, my teeth were tired. My teeth were tired. was tired. I was tired. Like, I was just irritated. And then I went for the soup again because now I knew how to chew with my tongue. And then I got upset because the wires were yellow. Why? Because of the sauce of the soup, of course it's gonna turn yellow. I was upset because I knew better. I shouldn't have listened to the lady. I shouldn't have listened to her facial reaction. I should have just went with the silver, because now yellow, and I'm gonna have to stay with this yellow until October. So I was like, I have no other choice. Like, I'm not gonna eat anything else until this goes down. And at this point, the soreness and the pain was like just too much. So I decided it's Advil time, and I took 2 Advil, and I had that right before going to bed so I could sleep better. And I did sleep somewhat better, but there was a tooth that was still hurting, and it was causing all the rest of my mouth to hurt, which is this tooth. The tooth that I accidentally tapped on this tooth on the first night. And it was hurting, and I was like, oh my gosh. So the Advil kind of calmed down the pain. But Wednesday it just got worse. I was like, what the heck is going on? This is horrible. I didn't want to talk. I didn't want to do anything. I was like, this is like terrible. Super, super terrible. I had some more Advil. I took the Advil, and I'm only taking 400 milligrams of Advil, and it helped. And I was still on my soup diet, just still having the soup. I did have some ice cream. Oh no, I had ice cream on Friday. So no, I did. I had ice cream from Wendy's, trying to, see if that would help, and it did. It helped a little bit. But it was just really bad. Like, I was done. I wanted to go to the dentist and tell them, just take these out of my mouth. Just take it out. I'll be okay. My teeth will be okay, because I'm going to have this on for a year. Heck no. Take it out of my mouth. I want it out now. But of course I didn't do that. Because I'm like, there's got to be a threshold here. And so I started doing more research online, and they were like, well, after the 3rd day, that's when you start to feel the come around. That's when you'll start to feel the come around. So Thursday, I didn't have to teach or do anything on Thursday. And so it was better, but this tooth was still super, super sore. And I didn't even tap it that hard, but it was super sore. And that was what was causing the rest of the teeth to hurt. So then I had some teeth in the back that kind of hurt a little bit. It was a lot. So Thursday, I was like in a lot of pain that morning, and it was mainly coming from this tooth and then some of the teeth in the back. And so I had Advil, 600 milligram Advil. So I took the 600 milligram Advil and took 1 200 milligram Advil to make 800, and basically rested the whole day. Like, I didn't want to talk to nobody. I didn't want to go anywhere. I was just like, I'm just resting this whole day. Friday was much better. I didn't take any medicine on Friday. The tooth is still sore, and it's mainly sore when I lay down flat. It's super sore. So, but it was okay. I didn't have to teach any classes, but I did have to come to the studio, and I just stuck with my soup diet, like still eating on this noodle soup, and it's okay because I like the noodles that I got, so I was fine with that. And I did have ice cream from an ice cream shop that one of the students had bought for me, and basically just that. But I didn't take any medicine. So now last night, which was Friday night, I just still felt this tooth, because every time I lay down, this tooth is in pain, and then it kind of triggers the other nerves a little bit, but the other teeth are fine. This one is still in pain. And so I felt that all night, and the only thing that would get rid of the pain is if I took my tongue and pushed up on the tooth. I won't do that now because it's not bothering me, and I don't want to trigger it to start, but that's what I had to end up doing, like half the night, like on and off, just just pushing it up to get rid of the pain. I think what I'm gonna have to do, my head is elevated, but I feel like I have to elevate a lot more. Maybe like 2 or 3 or 4 pillows, just to put my head up more, so the pressure doesn't bother the teeth. It feels like someone is pulling my teeth out of my mouth. So today is Saturday, and I woke up, that soreness was there. I still just had noodles, so you can understand what my diet has been like the past couple of days. But you know, I do snack on a few things on the side. I tried some chips that I ate at the back of my mouth. I've been sucking on ice instead of chewing ice, and I had some donuts. So yeah, and I carry around that toothbrush set and basically brush my teeth on the go. Wherever I am, I can brush my teeth at the studio, no problem. I can brush my teeth at home, which is mainly the two places I'm going during quarantine anyway. So this tooth in the back, the wire, by the time it hit Wednesday, the end of this wire is scratching up the whole side of this mouth. Meanwhile, I have like no scratch on this, like nothing on this side. And it's crazy because when I was at the dentist's office, this side was the one that I felt the wire and I didn't feel it on this side. But now every day that goes on, the wire just becomes more and more protruding. And I don't know, I keep telling myself in my head that's because, oh, it's moving your teeth. But I'm like, it's only been 5 days. So I know it can't be that. But yeah, so I'm gonna have to get this definitely cut up, make sure that it's cut lower next time. Because I can't even put on lipstick and just go like this. You know, like when you like pass your lips over each other. I can't do that. I can't do that because it'll just scratch up the inside of my mouth. And I tried to use the wax, but like I put the wax on, went to use the restroom, washed my hands after I put the wax on and everything, came back, felt something back here absentmindedly, pulled on it, spit it out my mouth. I was like, really? So it was like no point. So I figured I won't put the wax in, let it scratch it up as much as it wants to, and then eventually it'll be done scratching. So overall, I hate braces. I hate these braces. And I'm hoping that in the long run, I'm gonna be able to get this implant just because I did this for a year. So I have to struggle with this for a whole year just so that I can get an implant and get rid of this gap in my mouth. If you were thinking about getting braces, even though I hate them, I would do it again. I'd put it on again, and I would suffer through it again because it's worth it. At the end of the day, you want a nice smile, so you need to do what you gotta do just to get that decent smile. So my encouragement to you is know what I went through, expect what I went through, hoping for less, and just push through it. Just push through it so you can have a beautiful smile. I'm gonna have a beautiful smile, and in the long run, I will, be grateful for it, and I'll forget about that pain because, it's something that you just deal with it, okay? And in the future, you'll be glad that you did. One thing I'm not looking forward to is a retainer because obviously that's gonna be annoying and you almost have to wear it for like the rest of your life. So that was my experience with braces. That's been my experience for the past 5 days. I'm going to try to continue to document what that's like. But if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, help support the channel, and also if you want to know how I ended up with this giant gap in my mouth, tune into the next one. All right, bye guys.